Hello, Artful Manifestors. Thank you so much for joining me for this timeless pick a card channeled tarot message. Whenever you come across this reading is when you're meant to hear it. And to choose your reading, you're going to choose from one of the cards I'm about to reveal and or one of the crystals I will introduce. All right. For reading, I'm going to put these a little bit closer. All right, for reading number 1, Ladybug. And for reading number 2, Elk. For reading number 3, Squirrel. All right, if you'd like to know what the crystals are, let me introduce those to you now. For reading number 1, we have Turquoise. And for reading number 2, we have Amethyst. And for reading number 3, we have Opalized Jasper. Let your intuition guide you. Whichever image or crystal you're most drawn to is most likely the reading meant for you. Of course, you're always welcome to choose more than one reading if you're drawn to more than one. There may be additional messages for you in 2 or even all 3 of the readings. There's a link to all the readings in the description box below, as well as a list of all the cards that I use during this reading. And if I have a link where you can find those cards, I include that as well. Enjoy your reading. Hello, reading number 1. You chose the turquoise, which opens the throat chakra, allowing clear, honest, heart-centered communication. It helps you to speak your truth with grace, especially when you're called to share wisdom, medicine, prayers. And it also is a powerful talisman protector, protecting against negative energies, psychic interference, environmental toxins. And it actually doesn't just deflect, it transmutes discord into serenity. So it guards the path, but it also teaches you to walk it wisely. And it calms stormy emotions, eases anxiety, invites you back into your body when you've floated too far into the mind or spirit. So it's especially helpful in times of sudden change or grief. And it reconnects you to your original blueprint, the reason you came here. It strengthens the bridge between your higher self and your earthly self, aligning intentions with integrity. It's really good for artists, healers, soul workers, people walking an unconventional path. And it also acts as a link to ancient wisdom. And the ladybug is good luck. It's also good timing. It's synchronicities, serendipity. It's that alignment. It's a sign that your path is aligning with benevolence, or that your benevolence is helping you to align with your path. Something that you've been hoping for is about to come to fruition. Ladybugs remind us not to take ourselves too seriously. They invite lightness of being and joy. Think about, for me, it still happens, but when you were a kid, when you saw a ladybug, how excited you got. It's that kind of energy. I know some of you still are like me, still get excited when you see a ladybug. They bring lightness during heaviness, not to dismiss sorrow, but to help you rise with it. It's the medicine of the ladybug is joy, sacred joy. And it's also renewal. Spring and summer, fertility, new growth, rebirth. And one of their other energies is protection. So it has that in common with the turquoise. It's protection through gentleness. So despite their delicate appearance, ladybugs are actually fierce protectors, especially of plants and ecosystems. So I see you being very connected to nature. Spiritually, they embody gentle guardianship. They protect your auric field and remind you that power can come through kindness. And that's what I see you. I see you embodying this kindness, this modeling this plant wisdom and medicine, helping to facilitate joy through plant wisdom and inner child healing. All right, let's get some tarot cards. All right, what other messages do you have for reading number 1 at this time? Okay, I think that's 3 cards. Let's take them just like this. All right, so we have the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the Two of Swords. Let me adjust my camera a bit so that we can look at these a little bit closer. All right. The Ace of Cups is I love this one because, here's that cup and she's holding it up right in front of her heart, and you just see it exploding with all these beautiful yellow butterflies, another symbol of joy and lightness. So if you've been going through a heavy time or a dark time, I do see that clearing away. But what this card is really saying is that you're a gentle protector because you lead with your heart, with love, not control. Your aura is this cup overflowing, not forcefully. You protect through presence, compassion, sacred listening. It's not harsh or defensive. And your joy is an elixir for others. Your kindness is a balm for others. This card shows that your soul's alignment begins in this open heart. That's like the prime meridian. That's like the first basic foundation. That's the foundation of it. You create safe space by radiating this warmth so that harm, pain, wounds can't linger. Your kindness itself is a boundary. It's like that kind person that nobody is rude to or everybody respects because they're just always kind. So they don't have to actually say something. It's like they're showing me a teacher. Maybe you've had this teacher who's older, and you might have classmates that made fun of other students or other teachers, or they were sassy, but there's this older teacher or librarian who was just so kind and sweet, and it seems like they would be an easy target, but somehow they're not. They're just their energy itself is a boundary and somehow commands respect. And your classmates, for some reason, in the presence of this particular teacher or librarian, are very well behaved. And the Ace of Swords, I love these cards. It's Ace of Swords, but we see the person holding a key. And swords are about communication, their thoughts, their intellect. And so it's your thoughts and your communication are key. You speak to clarify, not to wound. So again, you're leading with the heart, with compassion and kindness when you speak. And even when you think, if you think with that heart, if you think from a place of love, then you also will not feel injured by what others say. So your voice is a sword of light. You cut through confusion and illusion with a voice that carries truth, but not venom, not sharpness. This is the sword of divine discernment, wielded with sacred precision. You see the patterns in other people and understand what their wounds are, which allows you to have compassion with them, even if what they say may seem harsh. Maybe in the past you would have thought it was harsh, or other people think it's harsh, but because you see these patterns, you know that it's the wound that's speaking, and you're able to discern that, detach yourself from it. And your kindness is not passive, it's fierce in its honesty. When you speak from this center with clarity, you align more fully with your purpose. Your truth is already sharp with light. So you don't have to raise your voice to be heard. And then you have the Two of Swords. Typically, the Two of Swords is a choice. So we see here's the two choices, the two birds, and they live in your head, right? It's like thinking about, which do I want? And in this case, you're learning to balance, to protect both your own peace and the peace of others. It's like you're really leveling up in this area of heartfelt communication. You're standing at the edge of the decision on integration, where stillness becomes your ally. You see, she's just sitting, thinking, she's not taking an action. Sometimes the greatest communication is silence. It's like they're showing me that librarian that everybody loves. And maybe there are kids goofing around, being noisy, or not taking the assignment seriously, or, they're not doing it. Maybe they're just goofing around. And she doesn't say anything. She just looks at them. And it's not even a mean look, right? But something about her just helps bring them back into alignment. And you're discerning between right and wrong. It's funny because they look black and white. Maybe they're a little bit blue. It's not the black and white thinking, but it's what's aligned with my truth and what is a performance for others. Meaning, what is it that I express or say or do in an effort to get external validation versus what is authentic and aligned with my beliefs, my values, my purpose. And so you're really fine-tuning that discernment so that you are becoming this protector of your energy and others' energy. Both. It's like you feel like it's a choice, but you're actually doing both at the same time because you're doing it with such compassion and kindness and wisdom. If you hear noise in the background, that's the little dogs. You can see them on Instagram if you're curious what they look like. You hold space for change with love and clarity. You protect others by reminding them of their truth, not by saving them. And your words cut cords, but not hearts. So your words liberate people, they don't injure them. And your silence is sacred. It's an act of power, not avoidance. You know when to be quiet, when not to say anything, and when to speak. And because of that, your words have so much more power. You honor tenderness, yours and theirs. How beautiful. I just feel this such sweet energy. Reading number 1. Please let me know if this resonates. I see lightness and joy around you, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, reading number 2. You chose the amber. And I love amber. I want to hold it so you can really get the light through it. It's not quite a crystal or a stone. It's not exactly resin. It's like it's sunlight made solid. Fossilized tree sap that holds the energy of ancient forest, the memory of primordial earth. It's like a time capsule, a timekeeper. This little golden vessel of warmth and ancient wisdom. It carries the energy of the sun. It's life-giving, gentle, and radiant. It stimulates your solar plexus and sacral chakras, awakening vitality, confidence, and creative power. It's very supportive during periods of fatigue, depression, or emotional heaviness. It holds ancient memory, earth wisdom, helps you access your ancestral knowledge, past life wisdom. It's a powerful clearing agent. It draws out stagnant energy, clears negative attachments, absorbs pain or trauma from the emotional body, and transmutes it like a sun, converting shadow into growth. It's a gentle extractor, pulling pain like sap from the wound. They used to put, and some may still put, tree sap on wounds. Yeah, I love it. All right. And you also chose elk, which is, it says here, nobility. And elk is, it's majestic, right? It's this quiet nobility. Their medicine teaches how to be powerful without aggression, how to take up space with grace. It helps you reclaim your natural leadership that doesn't take place through dominance, but by simply being rooted, calm, and certain of your place in the world. There's definitely a confidence as well as a calmness. And it teaches you how to pace yourself across long journeys, not to feel pressured or frantic, but steady, grounded presence. It's also the medicine of endurance without burnout. Because of that steady, you don't have to rush. Your path is already blessed. And it's also helps you to find your spiritual herd, those who walk at your rhythm, who nourish you with shared purpose. And when you do walk alone, it teaches you how to preserve your own energy. Elk are sensitive to subtle shifts, sound, scent, movement. So elk teaches deep listening, not just to others, but to your own intuition, body, surroundings, helps you attune to the earth's pulse, showing when to pause, act, or retreat. All right, let's get some tarot cards. Let's see what else we can find out. All right, let's find out about this ancient wisdom you're tapping into. Oh. All right, that's 4. I only meant to choose 3, but let's go ahead and take those. I know this isn't an elk, but look at the antlers. So I feel like you're meant to have this card, the King of Pentacles. Look at him standing up there, elevated. The King of Wands. The Fool. And the 9 of Cups. All right, I want to read what this card says. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You are crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you. Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. And look at this crown of success. What a beautiful confirmation. You're learning that true power is not it's presence. You're learning that true power is presence. The king is the earth guardian, wise, patient, steady, able to balance, deeply connected to the land. You're tapping into ancestral wisdom every time you plant herbs with intention, tend your home as a sanctuary, honor your body with nourishment and rest. Listen to the land beneath your house, beneath your feet, not just the walls themselves. Your grace is your groundedness. You are the earth walking in human form. You're weaving the ancestral into the practical. You are becoming a living altar. And your ancestors don't want you to be small. This king, another king, 2 kings. I mean, the elk looks like a king, and then you have 2 kings. I mean, this is amazing. This king shows that your passion and creativity are not threats. They are medicine. When rooted in love and vision, you're learning to lead from inspiration, to burn without scorching. You're speaking, you're creating, you're sharing, and you're lighting the way. Your fire, your creative spark is sacred. You are a flame bearer of soul truth. This is the wise one's flame, ancient, purposeful, and kind. Warm. It's warmth. The Fool is you're saying yes to the unknown. You are tapping into Earth's wisdom every time you take a step without knowing exactly where it will land, because you trust the terrain of your soul, of your spirit. You trust that your ancestors are walking with you, and they walked like this too, trusting that Mother Earth, that source, and that their soul will provide and know what to do. Following stars, dreams, birds, those gut feelings. Your ancestors were, they had the energy of the Fool card. They were prophets, weavers, and that's what you are. Grace often looks like courage in motion. It's not bound by expectation. You're powerful because you're willing to begin again. You trust in your strength, and Earth is catching you every time. And the Nine of Cups is, wishes fulfilled. It's the card of emotional sovereignty. Kings are, they have sovereignty. They're not answering to anyone else. And you have two kings. Plus, I feel that this elk is also a king. You're learning to honor what truly satisfies your spirit. This self-honoring aligns with your ancestors' earth wisdom, because the land wants you to be whole, not hustling. And you're not pretending. You are powerful. Even if you pretended in the past, you're not doing that anymore. And we all do that. We all kind of experiment and try different things out. It's kind of like going through different channels on the radio to find which song you really want to hear, right? It doesn't mean that you were bad or you made mistakes. You're just finding what fits you best. And you're doing that now. You're finding what fits you best. And I see you doing that by connecting to Earth's wisdom. You may bless your food. You might dance when no one's watching. You might make planting things or making art or music a ritual. Your joy is an offering. Yeah, I see you experiencing joy in all areas of your life. And you're becoming a sacred leader who walks barefoot in the soil with fire in your heart, wonder in your step, joy is your compass. You're rooted like the King of Pentacles, radiant like the King of Wands, open like the Fool, and aligned like the Nine of Cups, aligned with your joy, which keeps you aligned with your purpose and your path. And it's powerful. It's wisdom without force, power with grace. And I feel you feeling very connected to your ancestors and nature and Mother Earth. And all of that is what's giving you this nobility, this regalness, but at the same time, it's humble, it's graceful, really beautiful. Reading number 2, very beautiful and sacred and powerful. I hope this resonates. Please leave me a message if it does. I love to read them, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, reading number 3. You chose the Opalized Jasper, and Jasper is stabilizing. It roots your energy, centers your nervous system, strengthens your connection to earth. And when opal energies are present, this grounding takes on a mystical quality. You become a vessel through which spirit can safely incarnate. It teaches you to be a bridge, bringing spirit down through your bones. This is perfect for those who feel airy, overwhelmed, or unrooted while working with intuition or creativity. Dreamy, where you spend too much time dreaming but not doing. It grounds the vision. Opalization adds a shimmer of psychic activation, helping to open the third eye and heighten your dream work, symbolic thinking, clairvoyance, but always through a balanced, embodied lens. You don't have to float away to receive the message. Let it come through your feet. It's really powerful for artists, seers, empaths, musicians, creators. And Jasper has long been considered a stone of lineage, courage, and ancient earth wisdom. The opalized aspect enhances this, making it a living memory keeper, one that might carry information from your bloodline or past lives. The stone helps you remember ceremonies that your body has forgotten. And it can guide you to restore soul fragments. So you may feel inspired to do a dance, play a song, make a mark that seems unfamiliar to you, but you're tapping into that ancient memory. It moves through emotional shifts with calm strength. It softens reactivity, reinforces resilience, self-trust, spiritual sovereignty. It opens your heart, steadies your hands, and it carries an invitation to reclaim joy, beauty, and the creative spark. It ignites imagination while still helping you bring ideas into physical form through art, speech, touch, ritual. And what a perfect pairing with the squirrel. And it says, always be prepared. And certainly that is the first thing that comes to mind for many people as we think of squirrels storing nuts for the winter, but they also play, just like we said, this is creative playfulness. They also play, they have fun. If you have dogs and you live near squirrels, you may have seen squirrels teasing them, chattering at them, and they're daring. It's like they gamify things. So, I'll see they can easily go across the roof from one end of the yard to the other. But instead, what I see they'll do sometimes is they'll get on the fence and they'll look around to see if the dogs are outside. And then they'll come down and get in the yard and go across that way. And part of it is a game and playfulness, and part of it is that they want to plant things in the yard because they're also gardeners. And they know which pecans, acorns, seeds, nuts, whatever are viable, which ones are going to grow. And those are the ones they plant. And sometimes they plant it and then it's like they tune into source or the ether, their ancestors, and they're like, you know what, that's not going to be a good place for it to grow. And they'll dig it up and move it somewhere else till they find the right spot where that tree is going to grow. They are prepared with, it's not out of fear though. It's not like worry, right? It's not like saving something or gathering things out of worry. It's because they know winter's going to come. They're really tuned into rhythms and nature, the cycles. So they already know winter's going to come. They're not worried about not having enough, but they know winter's going to come, so they prepare. They have a long-term vision, but it's all done in play, and this is a reminder that play is sacred. They're curious, they're agile, they're spontaneous. It's all about that. It's all about inviting playfulness in as a spiritual medicine. And, they leap from limb to limb or from rooftop to tree. They don't freeze in fear, and they move with lightness, adaptability, and confidence, trusting their instincts and trusting that the trees are going to support them, that life is supporting them. So this is about trusting your leaps, and trusting that you're going to land on your feet and the land is going to support you, that life is going to support you. And they also know how to manage their energy. So they pause, they observe, they rest. They know when to run, when to rest. And so it's like the universe is asking you, what are you spending your energy on? Because busy isn't always balanced, right? We can be busy, we can always be doing things, but are we doing things that are preparing us for the winter we know that's going to come? All right, let's see what the tarot cards have to say. What other guidance do you have for reading number 3? What would you like reading number 3 to know at this time? Five of Wands. I feel like the colors in her dress are very similar to the colors in this stone. If you hear little noises in the background, that's the dogs back there. Five of Pentacles. I'm already starting to get an idea. Oh, okay, that's too many. I'm going to put those back. Ace of Pentacles. All right. And look at something growing. It reminds me of the squirrel planting something and it growing. I always find things growing after the squirrels have been planting. With the Five of Wands, it's almost like you have too many ideas. And it's not that you have too many ideas, but that's what it feels like. And it feels like they're competing for your time. And in some cases, it may even feel like you don't even know which one to do, so you don't do any of them because it's like this overwhelm. Either you don't know where to start or you don't know which one's more important. It's what's the right thing? It's like somebody playing chess. What's the right move? And Spirit is calling you to just start moving, to just choose one. Which one is the most exciting in that moment? And not to feel like you have to finish this project before you can start this project. It's okay to work on this project for a couple hours and then work on this project for a couple hours. And then the next day, work on a third project. They're all going to get done when they're supposed to get done. And sometimes working on these different projects helps bring insight. Working on one helps give you some kind of insight or clarity or solution to work on another, or inspiration. They kind of feed off of each other. So think of it as a synergy where they're feeding your creativity, they're feeding your creative problem-solving skills, they're nurturing your brain so that you're getting better at completing them, solving them, channeling that creative energy. It's like when you go to school, you don't go to school and only learn science. You also have to learn math and your language and the vocabulary of the science and how to apply that math to the science. So all of them are kind of feeding off of each other. So this idea that you need to do this one and not do the other ones, that's actually working against you and delaying or debilitating you. What you want to do is whichever one you're most inspired to do in that moment, and inviting playfulness in that way. Because I see that a lot of these things are overlapping, and it can also be roles as opposed to projects. So it seems like these inner voices or these projects are competing, but you're learning to turn this chaos into choreography and allow this messiness without judgment instead of, oh, don't do that. You should be doing this. Why are you starting another project? You haven't even finished that one. That kind of judgment. Let yourself experiment. You know what? And some projects you may never finish, and that's okay because you weren't meant to finish them. It was more like an exercise. It's an assignment that teaches you a skill. You learned something or you released something while you did that project, even if you didn't complete it. And don't wait for perfect clarity. It's better to get started. And as you start to work through things, then solutions will come to you. You're going to figure things out along the way. And the Five of Pentacles is about transforming scarcity into sacred worth. And it makes sense. Remember, I talked about how the squirrel doesn't plan for winter because it's worried about scarcity. It plans for winter because it knows winter is coming. It's not out of fear. And so there's just like this little tweak in your thinking that you can do that's going to shift everything. And oddly enough, what they're telling me is letting things go. So asking yourself, when's the I haven't used this in years. Is it useful? And I see you actually releasing things, and through that, you are releasing scarcity because you may be holding on to things out of fear of scarcity, of not having enough. And also, it's applied to your projects, your actions, worrying, is this good enough? Is anyone going to value this? Is it useful to anyone? And not worrying about that, but just doing what you're inspired to do. Because whether it becomes a completed project or not, just the act of you doing it is useful. It is working energy through you. It's teaching you something. It's helping you to release something. So this creativity, these projects, they are a return to your divine inheritance. They're not a luxury. So play your music, dance, play your instruments, paint, draw, knit, sew, garden, whatever your whatever your creativity is. Let it be your play, your laughter, your act of reclamation. Yeah, it's you are the temple and you are the patron. All right, and the Ace of Pentacles is anchoring that spark into soil, just like we talked about, not just like daydreaming and thinking about things, but actually anchoring them, creating them, making them physical. Pentacles is earth, it's tangible. So it's this grounded beginning. It's the light of spirit ready to be made into a garden, a project, a ritual, a page, a meal, because creativity sometimes is an act, right? Like a song, we can't touch a song, we can touch the instrument, I suppose. A dance. So it's that painting, that moment of wonder, And all you have to do is just begin. One playful step today, done with presence, anchors that light into the world. So even if you make something and it's not perfect, you still loved doing it. And that is a lesson, that is an experience, and it's worthy and valuable. If you change course mid-project, that's okay. You might even laugh about it. It brought you clarity. You learned. And, building something that's beautiful just for you, not to sell it or to impress anyone or get validation externally, but just because it's for you and you're honoring your temple, your altar. You're the living altar, right? And just trusting that the soil is fertile and willing to receive the seeds that you plant in it, whether you don't have to know exactly when it's going to sprout, which direction it's going to grow, what it's going to bloom into. You don't have to know everything, just getting it started, just planting that seed, making that one little act, just choosing one and acting upon it. Letting this become creative sparks, not blocks, not letting them compete each other, but just following whichever one is most enticing in that moment on that day, and inviting the part of you who feels excluded or worried into the warmth, hearth of your creativity, and releasing what you don't really need, and beginning each thing that you do with joy, with reverence, even if it's small. Maybe it's just a scribble, a doodle, a flower arrangement, a meal, making it a special sacred soup. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be useful for someone else. It only has to be true. Reading number 3. I hope this resonates. I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye.